Right, okay, so you should have by now built your background, designed your background and made it. You're now going back to all those photographs that you've been cutting out, and I'm going to show you a few different things you can do to make your photographs look more like graphic objects. So the first thing we're going to be doing is looking at a couple of filters, posterize and cut out. So here's your cutout person or object or piece of equipment or part of a building. First thing you will do is go to Filter, Artistic and Poster Edges. And here is a filter gallery of all the different effects you can put on. But I find this one is what we're sort of, I think, looking for in terms of the Tim Mars effect. So you can see here become more flat, lost a lot of the detail. You can change, depending on what you want, these different, so it's becoming more realistic as posterization gets more. Take it down, starting to look more cartoony. Edge intensity starts to bring up more sort of black lines. I don't really like that look, so I'm going to bring that down. I think that's enough for me. Possibly posterize it a bit more. No, 2 for me. Press OK. Then I think on a new layer I'm going to do the second filter, which is cutout. Sorry, get rid of that layer, don't need it. We'll work on top of this. So cut out. Okay, and you can see with this layer on top, it's got even more graphic. The colours have changed. And again, you can change some of these levels, but I'm actually quite happy with the way that's looking at the moment. So I'm going to press OK. Now, looking at Tim Mars, you can see he sort of played around with a lot of the colour with some of these photographs. So going back here, things that you can do. You could quick select, say, the straps. I'm just going to do this quickly, you guys can do it. So remember, you need to be on the plus sign up there, the positive sign. And remember, if you go out of the area, you can click on the minus sign and it will bring it back. Do a new layer. Whoops, don't need 2 layers, just 1 layer. New layer, and then you could start changing the colour if you want. If you want to change the colour, just go down here, just select any of these colours, and then paint bucket that in, which is here. Then types of layers on top of this, you could then start to change those colours. Overlay is quite a nice one. Multiply is quite a nice one. You can also change the opacity of it, so it will get lighter and darker, add more colour or less. Okay, so you can have a real play around with how you want your objects to look before they get onto your collage. So what I will say is, as you're doing, you can see my history, lots and lots of different effects will start to create a really big document. So it's important that you are working on your objects before you then open them where you're going to be doing your collage, so where your background is. So once that is completely finished and you're happy with the way it looks, what you need to do to make it a smaller image, because otherwise trying to work on your collage is just going to be so slow. In layer, when your object is completely finished, you go to flatten image. Now by clicking on flatten image, it means you cannot do any more work within these layers. Those layers will be flattened together. There'll be no history because it will have all been condensed. But that's your last move. And when you've done that flatten image, you save it as, so if I was doing this, boy with rucksack, and start work on your next photograph, so that you are working on your photographs during this lesson, and then you're going to be opening those into your background to actually put everything together.